Good morning, everybody. Man, oh man, do I have a treat for you today. Maybe it's more of a treat for me, but I sure hope you enjoy watching it. I thought we were done in the fields for this year whenever I got done bush hogging around all the fields this last Sunday, right after Thanksgiving. But you can tell I've got my lunchbox and got my drone with me. That must mean something pretty big's happening. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, boy, I'm so excited about today. I can't wait to get out here to the field and show you just exactly what I'm gonna be doing. Oh, what do we have out there? It's like a little cotton hadn't been picked yet. Oh, and what do we have right here? We have a 3-year-old John Deere CP690 round baler picker. Who gets to run this thing all day, you might ask? I do. I'm so excited. Anyway, the story behind this is you've heard me talk about my friend, neighbor Jordan East on this channel quite a few times, helped us out a lot. And anyway, he's done with his harvest, but we got another farmer here who hadn't been able to get his cotton out. He's having it custom harvested, and the guy that's supposed to be harvesting has just been having constant problems with his picker, apparently all fall long. Anyway, it's December 1st. Cotton should have been out of the field a long time ago, losing value, whatever. So anyway, this guy contacted Jordan about coming and picking his cotton. Got like 110 acres over here, I believe. So Jordan said he'd do it, and Jordan mentioned me way back early this fall, you know, if I ever have a chance to come drive his picker, just to go ahead. So anyway, I'm done in the field. There's cotton needs to be picked, and I'm seriously considering upgrading to one of these after harvest next year. I need some seat time in one. I need to learn about these things, learn how to run them, learn to look and learn what I need to look for on them. So you know, when I'm about to make a $300,000-$400,000 purchase, I make the absolute right decision on the machine for our farm. So this day and a half I'm gonna spend picking this cotton is going to be absolutely invaluable to me in making good decisions when it comes time to replace our picker. Not to mention I'm gonna have a heck of a lot of fun. So anyway, we got pretty heavy frost out here. Got down about 26 last night. So first frost has got to melt, then the frost has to dry off, and then hopefully we're gonna start picking some cotton. I'll bring you back after I get some instructions and stuff on exactly how to run this. Everything from the cab forward, I know there's nothing I need to know about that. Real easy. Everything from the cab backwards is a completely different beast that I have no idea about. So gonna get some instruction, and once I get on the road, bring you along to ride along. All right guys, I finally got my education on this picker. Finished up that last field across the road, had 5 or 6 acres, so got a little bit of experience under my belt to where I can halfway operate this picker and talk to y'all at the same time. Those first few rounds though, ain't no way I could have filmed and talked. So my first observation is this sucker is fast. I mean, like warp speed fast. 5.3 miles per hour is what we are picking at. Whereas, you know, my picker, first gear picking at 4 miles an hour, second gear 4.5 miles an hour. This ain't like this, and this ain't like cutting corn at 5 miles an hour. It's a whole lot tighter tolerances trying to guide those cotton rows into the header there. But if you're surprised that the view is not that much different from riding with our picker, other than the ground speed, big difference is everything behind the cab. It's a completely different beast. Now we don't have our monitor up here to record yield data and everything because this farmer isn't interested in capturing the yield data off of it, but all down here, all of this is completely different. You know, this one shows all the functions of the picker. Same way up here, all of this shows the different parts of the module builder on board back. And how this picker is different from mine is instead of having a basket on the back of the picker that the cotton gets blown up to, that we then have to unload into a stationary module builder to make the modules to transport to the gin. This one has an on-board module builder, and instead of making the big rectangular modules that my module builder makes, this one makes essentially a great old big hay bale, except it's made of cotton. It's got a round baler attachment on the back, so it's working right there, and it's pretty much an automated system. You know, after the cotton is picked by the heads, it's blown up there into the back into a mini basket, which is called an accumulator. And then when that accumulator right there, when it fills up to the top, then it'll feed that cotton into the round baler attachment. And then when the cotton bale reaches the right size, it'll wrap it in plastic and then inject it just like a hay baler. And each of these round bales, depending on the cotton turnouts, you know, usually somewhere in the ballpark of 4 bales of cotton into one round module. So generally 4 of these round modules equals one really big module of the type that I make. And then we got another tractor with a fork attachment on the rear of it that will pick the modules up wherever I dump them. We'll carry them up to the front of the field, and then we'll stage them 4 round modules in a row. And then the same module trucks that come up and pick, you know, one of my big modules up will pick up 4 of those round bale modules and carry them to the gym. So the big benefit with this picker is it's super fast, it's super efficient. You know, in reality, the only thing I need to harvest this crop out there is this picker and myself. You know, I don't have to have anybody out here moving modules. I can come back and do that later if I want to, because as soon as they're wrapped in plastic, that cotton is completely protected and it can sit, you know, wherever. Whereas my cotton picker, you know, you gotta have somebody running the picker. You need to have somebody in the mold buggy because you don't want the picker to have to drive to the module builder all the time. So I dump in the mold buggy. Someone drives the mold buggy to the module builder, dumps in that. You gotta have somebody on the module builder. And in our case, when we're in high yielding cotton, we need to run 2 module builders in order to be able to keep up with the cotton picker. All right, like I said earlier, you know, George's doing some custom picking for this man. It's not Jordan's crop. And the big problem we're facing here is that this farmer's a smaller farmer, got older equipment and smaller equipment. And he's got an 8-row planter, no kind of GPS or guidance, you know, playing it the old school way with markers and everything else. And when you're picking cotton that's been planted with an 8-row planter, you got a 6-row picker, you know, just like right here, we got 2 rows we're not even picking because the planter was off on the previous pass. So this is definitely not the optimal conditions to be learning how to run this picker because there's so much I gotta watch for. You know, I can't really use auto steer because a lot of times I kind of have to fudge one way or the other, try to get those other 2 rows to fit in there. You know, this isn't like corn where you're picking so high up off the ground, and if you harvest with different row spacings than what you planted with, you know, the corn plant can bend and flex and go into the header. It ain't like that with cotton. These rows, in order to pick it nice and clean, and you know, they need to be spot on. Because you're harvesting so much lower to the ground, there just ain't a lot of wiggle room for that cotton stalk to bend and go in the header without leaving a lot of cotton behind. And not only was this planted with an 8-row planter with markers without any guidance, he was also planting into some pretty heavy cover crops, so it's really hard to see your marker when you're planting into that type of conditions. You know, right here, he's off a full row. He told Jordan, though, it didn't it didn't matter to him. He wanted his cotton out, which I can't blame him. So I'm trying to do the best that I can, but it's going to do an ugly job of picking. When you get into some straight rows like where I'm at right now, you know, it's all right. It's pretty close. He did a good job planting. Where we get into the problem is like right up here where we got to go around the curve. I mean, just driving and manually trying to follow a marker. I mean, even an expert driver has a hard time keeping it right dead on the money, because if you're off by, you know, 3 or 4 inches, then, you know, it just doesn't go into the header cleanly and you're going to lose some. But the man that was supposed to pick it has got a 4-row picker, which matches up with an 8-row planter real well, but he's just had constant problems and breakdowns all fall along with it. See, like right there, that's where he was off, right, you know, and I was picking across 2 planter passes. See, right up there, got off again. So I'm gonna try and go back and get as much of that as I can, but ultimately, I mean, there is gonna be some yield loss there, no 2 ways about it. Because the header, as it goes across those rows and it's not picking it, it's gonna knock some of it out. Well, we just ran through our first roll of wrap a little while ago, and Robert showed me how to swap over to a new roll of wrap. Each roll of wrap back there will wrap 24 modules. It's a lot more seamless and painless than I thought to add wrap and to swap over a new roll of wrap. Really pleased about that. You can tell right here we got 21 wraps left on that roll before we gotta switch again. I apologize I ain't giving y'all a better view, but I'll tell you what, just this is not the ideal situation to be filming my first impression of a module picker. We got some really difficult picking conditions. You know, cotton that's not very good, you know, not on the same row pattern as the picker, and I'm trying to do a good job and not leave any out here for the farmer. Plus the fields that we're in got big terraces, silt basins, you know, got rows going all different ways. We wound up having to leave some cotton out here because these follow terraces and silt basins along, and I mean, there was, you know, this much of a gap in between the passes. So the farmer just told me, just, you know, just pick 6 rows and leave 2 rows, and that other guy, when he gets his picker fixed, gonna come over here and, you know, kind of get the gaps that I had to leave, because I was just leaving too much cotton out there. Right, you know, running over it, knocking on the ground. I think he's got some replant, and I can't tell which ways the rows run. I hate harvesting somebody else's crop, you know, that I didn't plant. You know, you get out here and it's just a guessing game on how they planted it, what's the best way to harvest it. I mean, I can't even tell if I'm on the right rows or not. I gotta say, my overall impression of one of these baler pickers, I mean, they are tremendous. I'm loving it. I wish I was picking in a lot better conditions, you know, some really good cotton, you know, planted with a planter that matches up the row spacing of the picker. But as far as the part that I'm really interested in, the baler on the back, man, all I can say is I can't wait to have one of these on our farm. It's going to greatly simplify and speed up cotton harvest. I love cotton harvest. You know, that's what I grew up knowing, was cotton and cotton harvest. And I love picking cotton. What I don't love is just how long it takes us, and then the manpower, the work, the labor to get a good cotton crop out. You know, getting older, Kelly's getting older, you know, physically, mentally, you know, it just wears on you. No matter how much you love it, it wears on you, because there's other things you're having to worry about, you know, other things you're having to put off because you gotta get cotton out. You know, we're having to put off planting our wheat, you know, our double crop beans, and ultimately, you know, that's the kind of stuff that keeps us from getting done. So while I love cotton harvest, you know, with the yields just continuing to grow, you know, the system that we use is just becoming antiquated and it's really slowing us down. Whenever I can swing it, we're gonna have one of these on our farm. And then I think for the most part, you know, we'll probably be able to get done with cotton harvest at least a third faster, if not a little more. Because literally the only time I've had to stop this picker today is if I've had a door choke up on the head. We had to stop and grease it once because a service alarm went off, and then we had to stop to roll another roll of wrap around and get it started. Other than that, I mean, it's just constant back and forth. I mean, this thing is more efficient than even a combine. Because a combine can unload on the go if you're going the right way and you got uncut crop on the left-hand side of the combine. But if you've got crop on the wrong side of the combine and you're full, well, I mean, then you got to stop to unload. This one right here, it don't matter where you're at. The only limitation that I've seen on it so far with unloading is when you get on like some of these terraces and you're leaning, you know, you don't want to open up the gate on the back because it goes up real high, you know, get you off balance. And then plus that module might not roll straight out. You know, it might come out catty corner and might miss the carrier. You know, you'd have a problem that way. But other than that, I mean, you just keep on going and unloading on the go. So it's about to wrap a module right here. Once it gets to 94 inches. All right, say it's wrapping right now. Now all that's automated, I don't have to touch it. This thing builds up to 94-inch modules. And once that progress bar gets to the halfway point there, that means it's done wrapping and it's ready to eject. All right, it is ready to eject. However, we're on a terrace like this, so I don't want to eject it right now. It gets a little bit flatter up here, and then we'll eject it back onto the tailgate or the carrier, whatever that's called. And we still, you know, it's still filling the accumulator up. Well, I thought it flattened out a little bit, but it's not. I'm gonna have to wait till I get up here on the end rows. But if it was flat right here, I could have done ejected the bale. Yeah, it's saying the accumulator's full, so we just gonna have to stop. We're going to find a flat spot. Well, just when I start bragging about how great it is, you don't ever have to stop or just keep on going back and forth, I get to a situation like that. All right, we're on flat spot. Now open up the tailgate. We'll watch it right up here on the camera. All right, the gate's closing. All right, it's locked. All right, you see we got a bale being carried right there on the carrier. You can see it right there in the camera. All right, watch my mirrors. I'm gonna let the tailgate down. And there she sits. One perfectly wrapped, round, solid module right there. All right, let me engage the auto steer here. Now what has got a tractor with some forks on the back. It'll come get that module and carry it way up there to stage it ready for the module trucks. And then up here we got 4 different cameras that give us different views of the cotton picker. There's the tailgate where the module carrier is. There's the up under the bale chamber where the wrap goes. There's the accumulator. We got a little bit of cotton blocking the camera there. Now I'm not sure where that one is. All right, you see that tractor carrying the module. Each of those modules got somewhere in ballpark 4 bales in there, depending on how the cotton's turning out. Well, I wish I was in a lot better cotton. Same thing happened to this guy's cotton that happened to my later cotton. This guy had some late maturing cotton too, and that freeze just came in, and I mean it hammered the top crop. He had a good looking crop out here, but just ran out of growing season. I don't know what it's yielding, don't have the yield monitor in here, but I'm sure it's not what that farmer's hoping for. Well, it's about 6 o'clock. Cotton's getting harvested. I'm all by myself out here. The crew that's out here, they've already gone home for the night. But hey, I'm still getting cotton out. That's what's great about this picker. You don't have to run your crew into the ground to get cotton out. If I want to stay out here and pick all night, get all this finished, by gosh, I could. That might have been a bad decision for them though. I may just run tonight, and this thing just might disappear behind the shed over at my shop, and I'm like, next morning, like, I don't know what happened to it. I guess somebody came over here and took it. I don't know. It was nice. It was safe and sound when I parked it here last night. I don't know where it went to. Nah, I ain't gonna do that to Jordan. I ain't gonna say the thought ain't crossed my mind though. I'm digging this thing. Look at the lighting package on this. It's got all LEDs on it. I mean, it's like the sun hadn't even gone down. Finally got into an area of the field where I felt confident enough to run the auto steer and fly the drone. I wish I could have gotten you some drone shots during the day. I might have a chance tomorrow, I don't know, but we finally got in a little bit of a wide open field, and the rows are he did a better job planting right here than he did in other places, and the road track's working pretty dang good right here. I did cut it back down in the first gear. I'm sorry, picking at 5.3 miles an hour at night. You know, I mentioned back during cotton harvest how when the lights come on, it's like everything happens at warp speed. We got this actually some pretty decent cotton right now. It's kind of up on a little rise. I guess it got a little bit more sun and heat, and you know, it looks pretty good. You know, it matured out a whole lot better than other parts of the field. About to spit another module out. All right, here we go. Let's eject it. Watch it come out on this tailgate right here. There she is. All right, the gate's done latched. Let's let her down. Look at that, another module formed. And Kelly ain't gotta be out here in this cold wind working the module builder. I know she'd be so happy when I buy one of these. I might regret having come over here and run this thing though. It's gonna be a pretty rough cotton harvest next harvest on that old basket picker. I love my picker, don't get me wrong. It's been a good one. And I still like the looks of a basket picker. But man, once you get about 5, 6, 7 days in the harvest, long days, everybody's beat up and tired. You're like, I'm ready to be done. I mean, we picked probably about 50 acres so far. It's 6 o'clock. You know, we got a late start because of the frost. You know, we probably got started at 10:30 or so. Picked 50 acres and hadn't even broke a sweat. You know, when I was running my Case IH 2366 combine with a 1020 head cutting wheat beans, you know, what, 5, 6 years ago, and I demoed a Case IH 8240 with a 35-foot draper head. That right there made up my mind. I was not going to run another season with that combine and that header. And I went out and got that 7120 and 35-foot draper, and you know, combining soybeans, it became fun again. I have a feeling the same thing might happen with this. I gotta try and get one more year out of my picker. If the absolute right deal comes along this winter at some point, or some point before next harvest, I mean, just a deal that I would be stupid to pass down. You know, I'm not above, you know, going ahead and jumping on one. But I need to start preparing now, making plans. I'm gonna get one more season out of my picker, and then I'm gonna make other arrangements for cotton harvest after that. I got a whole year to prepare for it, a whole year to save up, a whole year to shop and look around and look. Well, I guess we better go ahead and call it a day. It's about 7 o'clock. I've been picking almost 2 hours by myself. Got about another, I think 8, 9 modules picked. I mean, that's what this thing is all about. You don't need a full crew out here to get your crop out. You ain't got to wear your crew out. Man, it's just been wonderful today. So I would have kept on running a little bit longer. I was trying to run that roll of wrap out, but this thing's got a moisture meter on here, and they told me once it gets up there close to 13%, you better shut down. Otherwise, the feeder mechanism in the accumulator will jam up tight. That's the last thing I want to do, is to leave a mess. We got it straightened out in the morning, especially considering how cold it's going to be. So we'll go ahead and just shut her down, and we'll finish it up tomorrow, hopefully before the rain gets here. So reckon I'm gonna get these heads cleaned out, because trying to do it in the morning, these moisture pads probably gonna be froze up. And I'm gonna head on home, finally have me some good dreams about cotton picking rather than some nightmares. Well, it looks like we got about maybe 35, 40 more acres left to go, and sure ain't looking promising. Sometime today, the rain's going to move in, and it's going to be like 7 days straight rain. All right, guys, well, I didn't think we was going to get today in. Last night when I come in, it was sprinkling a little rain. This morning, had another rain shower come through, and steadily increasing rain chances all day today. But luckily, we had a pretty good wind pick up, dried out the cotton enough to where we can pick. I don't know if we're gonna get this done or not. Anyway, this video is going to end today, because I'm not gonna be able to, if we don't get done today, I'm not gonna be able to come back out and finish this up. So, but just what we're seeing today is another huge benefit of these pickers. You know, if you watched our cotton harvest videos, there was a couple of days we was trying to beat the rain. Well, you know, we're constantly watching radar, having determined how much longer we had before the rain came. If we had enough time to, you know, pick another basket, dump in the bowl buggy, and put in the module builder and pull off the module and tarp it before it rained. You know, all that stuff takes a decent amount of time, and you know, it's really stressful when you're trying to beat a rain to determine if you're gonna get caught with your pants down or not. With this one, it don't matter. I can pick right up to the rain. Doesn't matter if I've got a fully formed module in the back. As soon as I can see that rain coming across there, I can hit a button. I can wrap the module that's in there. Might be a small module, but still, I can wrap it. That cotton's protected from the rain, and you don't have anything to worry about. You know, something else that really wears on me every cotton harvest is, you know, it takes about a minimum of 9 bales to make enough of a module on our type of module builder to where you can pull off of it, and it's compacted tightly enough that the module's not going to fall apart. Well, when you're getting down close to the end of the farm, you know, it's always hard to judge. You know, do I have enough cotton left to build another module? Do I need to all try and fit it into one module? And for the most part, we've done a good job, but we have gotten it wrong at times. With this one, it don't matter. You know, whatever size module's left in the baler, just go ahead and wrap it and drop it. You know, it might only look like a real big cigar, but you know, you can still get away with it. Looks like reinforcements have arrived with rain coming in. Well, I've gotten into a little bit easier picking now since that other guy showed up that was originally going to pick this. I'm just picking 6 rows, skipping over 4, picking 6 rows, and just going to let them pick those, you know, 2 rows of each 8-row swath, and we can go ahead and get this knocked out. Now, after spending a little over a day in this thing, I've got to say that my expectations did not exceed the capacity, and I've been so impressed with this. Being able to run a picker like this is about as life-changing of an experience as going from an auger head to a draper head, you know, big combine. Heck, it's been just as good an experience as when we got high-speed internet. Probably about as good of an experience as when my granddad got electricity out the farm in the 1930s or 40s. You know, myself and a lot of other people have often criticized John Deere for just thinking way too much of their equipment. You know, just the cost of green paint is just astronomical, out of this world. You know, take this picker for example. You know, a new one lists for on the website for around 1.2 million. You know, that's not what it would actually cost you, but that's just what it lists for on the website. And you know, a lot of times John Deere is being criticized for copying a lot of other manufacturers' designs and making it better. You know, the axle flow rotor combine being a prime example. Not that I think they made that design any better, but I mean, they did copy it. But I gotta give props to John Deere engineers. I mean, this module builder design on the back of this picker has revolutionized the cotton harvesting industry. It's gonna cost you a premium to do it that way, but the speed and efficiency, I don't see how it could ever be surpassed. I'm sure there'll be more inventions and stuff come on down the line in the future, but I don't see how this design could be improved on to make cotton harvest any faster. I don't know, maybe at some point someone comes out with an 8-row picker. Well, not somebody. John Deere's the only one making cotton pickers. But as it is, I think these machines weigh somewhere around 70,000 pounds. You throw another 2 headers on there, I mean, you know, plus getting down the road with them, there's probably a reason that nobody makes an 8-row picker now. Even though I have seen some farmers come up with some designs on making their own 8-row picker, but generally they're on 30-inch rows, narrow rows cotton rather than wide row cotton. I know in our harvest videos, you know, I seem down and just ill and irritated in a lot of videos, and you know, this past harvest was, you know, it was tough. It was tough on me. It was tough on Kelly. Just everything that we had to deal with, and it really took a lot of joy out of farming. This last day or so, it's been the most fun I've had all harvest long, just because there's no stress on me, no pressure. You know, I'm helping somebody else out. You know, I'm not the one in charge. I'm not the one having to make decisions, figure out problems, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm just here helping somebody else out. You know, I love farming. I'm passionate about farming, but I don't think I've made any secret that it's the business side, actually running a business, I just don't care much for. I'm good. You know, I'm decent enough at it, but it's not all that enjoyable to me. Now, being successful at the end of the year, yeah, that part's enjoyable, but the process of getting to being successful, all the decisions we got to make, you know, all the problems we got to solve, you know, a lot of tough decisions. You know, you're constantly questioning yourself. There I was talking, and forgot to eject my module. Uh-oh. Yep, I forgot to eject my module, and the accumulator got full. We need just a little bit louder alarm when you got a module ready to be ejected. Oops, my bad. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying, but anyway, I've had fun the last day or so. It's been really what I needed. I bet some of y'all was watching and checking out my screen there, right there, and screaming at the TV or your phone or whatever you're watching on. You're full, full. Eject, eject, eject. I still got a little getting used to. And it's why I love a module picker. All of a sudden seen rain coming across the tree line there. I had about 3/4 of a module done, wrapped it real quick, ejected it, and it's safe. The other guy's over here picking. They got about half a basket there. I don't think they got hardly anything in the module builder. I mean, there ain't nothing they can do with that cotton. It's just gonna get wet. But you know, it's the same problem that, you know, we faced for years and years with our basket picker. You know, for the most part, we've done a good job getting everything covered up before the rain, but there's been times we've been times we've been caught with our pants down too. So yeah, I think that might do it. So let's give it a few minutes, see what happens. And check out that beauty there. That is a blast from the past. That sucker was a big old tractor back in the day. I bet with a little polishing compound and a coat of wax, boy, she shine up real good. Tell you what, it's pretty sad when a $5,000 machine is still still out picking, and the $800,000 machine is sitting still because it's too wet. The reason we're sitting still is because we did get a rain shower. It did get the cotton damp, and the problem is that this feeder mechanism back here on the accumulator, when cotton gets damp, it will jam up, and it'll jam up tight. Take quite a few hours to clean out. But anyway, I'll give you a walk around of the machine. You know, the cab and everything in front of the cab, y'all know all about. It's almost identical to my picker. Got Pro 16 heads, same thing as mine does there. The drive for the head's a little bit different, but where this thing is different from mine is everything back here. Right back here, the cotton ducts blow the cotton up into this accumulator right here, and this is basically the mini basket is what it is. He's still over there picking 2 rows at a time. Anyway, I'm gonna try to give you a look here inside the accumulator, show you what it looks like. All right, this is the accumulator, the mini basket right there. You see those kind of spiked rollers down there at the bottom. There's a belt underneath that, and that's what feeds the cotton into the round baler part. So what happens is that blows the cotton up here into the accumulator. The accumulator fills up, and then that feeder will kick on along with the round baler part, and will empty the accumulator, start building the module. The module builder part does not run constantly like a hay baler does. It only runs when the accumulator is feeding cotton into the baler. All right, and then behind the accumulator here, we got the round baler part. And like I said earlier, essentially this is just like a big hay baler, But you got a conveyor belt here that goes from the accumulator into the round baler part. And you know, it starts out with a small module, and then as it rolls it around, the module gets bigger, and bigger. Generally, a full accumulator will add about 10 to 15 inches to the module every time it empties. So this baler will make about a 93 to 94 inch diameter module. That, you know, they generally average somewhere in the ballpark of 4 bales per module. And then back here on the back, this is the bale carrier right here. It's what the module builder ejects the module onto, and then it'll carry the module to wherever the farmer wants to drop it. And then you see that yellow roll of plastic right there. That's the wrap that's the wrap that covers the module. This machine, I think, can hold up to 5 rolls of wrap. Each roll of wrap will wrap 24 modules, so you got more than enough wrap to run a full day. I think each of those rolls of wrap costs somewhere in the ballpark of $900, what I've been told. And anyway, the only thing that the operator has to do is after every 24 rolls, you know, you get done with a roll of wrap, you got to manually come back here, and it's got a conveyor and buttons, and you got to feed a new roll of wrap into it. All right, here's one type of module movers that's out there. There's several different types out there, but you know, basically that's just a cradle that goes up under the module. These arms will spread apart. You back up under it, then hydraulically close the arms to kind of pinch the module, pick it up, and carry it to the staging area. And here's some of the real magic behind this design. You can tell, you know, got big module. I mean, it's tight. At least as tight as the ones we pack, if not even more. I mean, here in the center, I can't even hardly press in on it. And then you got the plastic wrap here. So we got some water on there. I think it wraps it 4 or 5 times, not really sure. But the real magic is, so you got this lip that goes around the edge. So you're not, so even if you were to have water flowing down, you still got that lip protecting it all the way around, keeping the module nice and dry. Now this wrap right here is the only thing holding these modules together. If I were to take my pocket knife, go cut that wrap, that module would just fall apart. So you really gotta be careful when you're handling them. Also, the person picking the modules up and moving them, especially if you got cut stalks on the ground, you don't want any stalks to puncture this. Not only could you, possibly, not only could you possibly tear the wrap off, but also if a stalk pokes plastic up into the cotton, then you got plastic contamination in your cotton, and that's a real big deal. So you got to be real careful and particular about how you handle it. You can tell right here, we got 4 modules in a line. The standard module truck can come pick up 4 modules, carry it to the gin. And got another 4, and then another 4. Now a little while ago when I was eating lunch and saw the rain coming across the tree line, this is the module I had right here. Still had a little bit in the accumulator, so I manually fed what was in the accumulator into the module, kicked the button to wrap it, and there it is. This one's not quite a full-size module. You can tell about the height. I'm 6 foot 2 inches tall. This is the module I made. And then here's a full-size module, so you can tell it's a little bit smaller diameter. But I have seen modules the size, it looks like a big cigar. So anyway, guys, I reckon that's going to do it for this video. It's definitely probably long enough. I've given you a real good idea of the module picker, its pluses, its minuses, about the modules, about everything I can think of. I don't really expect to see one on our farm for the 2023 cotton harvest, but you never know. If the right deal comes along, maybe, just maybe. Just have to keep y'all in some suspense and wait and see, but there definitely will be one coming to our farm at some point. Hopefully right after the 2023 season. So anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I've literally had a blast the last couple of days. Really gives me something to shoot for and look forward to in the coming cotton season. So guys, don't know what will be next in our agenda, but I'll be sure to bring you along. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.